All right, welcome everybody to another expert interview on Monday. Can you believe it's Monday already? I'm already getting my days confused and we're just starting the week. So I am Dave Cooper and today is going to be another great day. We're going to be talking about IBS. We are going to be talking about market conditions. We are going to be talking about breaking news in the modular industry with some big name consulting firms. There are some things today that we're going to hear that you're hopefully probably only going to hear first right here. But before we get into today's expert interview, let's just say hello to everybody that is out there and welcome, because we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Why are we on Twitch? Because that's where the young folks are, and we're trying to get more of the young folks into our industry. So with that said, at Dave Cooper Live, we are bringing you the people and the processes that are building it better. Our guests and topics include experts in building systems to building science, building codes, and the tech used to build it better. We are seeking out the best and the brightest in construction and discovering all the ways that innovative building comes to life. And with that said, a big shout out to our sponsor, Forward Solutions Group. Ben Hershey, Joe Butler, nobody better in the industry, in my opinion. They are a team with more than 175 years of experience developing and specifying manufacturing for panelized, volumetric, modular industries with the best practices in development and implementation. They offer consulting with investors, developers, manufacturers, builders, and using offsite manufacturing methods. Forward Solutions is driving companies to succeed where others have failed. To learn more, please contact Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. Thank you very much for sponsoring us. You guys are rock stars. We really do appreciate all that you do for the industry and what you do for our show, because you allow us to continue down the path of bringing great people on the show. All right, so first what we're going to do is we are going to play a clip intro of IBSX. This is the sizzle reel. You're going to see it right here on Dave Cooper Live. Let's pull it in. All right. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
Good.
Great, Dave. Thank you. I tried sneaking you back door on that intro, man. Every time I do something new, it gets me. But hey, listen, welcome both of you. We have the one, the only, the Greg Ugalde, immediate past chairman of the National Association of Home Builders. And we also have with us John McGarry, who is the vice president of business development and brand strategy at the National Association of Home Builders. And John, I have to tell you, you have been working tirelessly to bring us one of the best experiences that you could possibly have at any international builder show that is virtual, because that's what it is this year. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. I love the sizzle reel. What do you think of that sizzle reel, Greg?
That was excellent, wasn't it? It really gets the points across.
Yeah, it does. It's upbeat. In fact, I may need to hire you guys to help me with my intros and outros. I need a little more excitement in my life.
Anytime, Dave. We're here for you.
So, John, why don't you just take a moment and rekindle yourself with our audience. Give them just a quick elevator pitch on who you are and what you do, and then we're going to hop into what's happening at IBSX. Sound good?
Yeah, thank you. So, again, John McGarry, business development and brand strategy at NAHB. So it kind of interesting with the IBSX. This is not my traditional role here at NAHB. In any normal year, my team is actually selling sponsorships and advertising for the live IBS show and everything for the association outside of IBS as well. We also head up our member savings program with partners such as Lowe's and GM. We have a publishing division called Builder Books, which I head up, and housing economics. The production team works for me. They did that great little sizzle reel on IBSX. That's basically what I do. And just to give you the quick summary and history, is when the pandemic hit, there were groups of people in NAHB that were working on what we call this major improvement project for IBS, the live IBS show. And we had 13 points of improvement. And then March hit, right? And then the senior management said, you know what? We need to start developing a virtual platform that would be a complement to the live IBS show, right? So the virtual was just going to be a complement to all those people who couldn't come to the live show. Well, speed up in the year a little bit. We hit October, and then all of a sudden the outlook doesn't look all that great for launching a live event in February in Orlando. So instead of being what we call hybrid, live and virtual, we had to spin real quickly and said, all right, everybody, we're just working on a virtual event at this point in time. So that's where we are now. We're less than 30 days before the event. We're really excited about what we're doing, not only for our membership, but for the entire industry. It's been a wild ride. This is the first time where we've done a full-fledged virtual platform for NHB. We've done a lot of education online, but this is really the first time that we've had to build, basically the IBS show in a virtual environment. So I can just tell you, it's been great working with one of the best teams here at NAHB. But I tell you, we learn something new every day.
That's true.
I am sure it is a massive undertaking.
Mhm.
Going from taking a show that's live with over 100,000 attendees. I think I have my numbers right. It was over 100,000 last year, right?
Yeah, between KBIS and IBS, absolutely, yeah, close to that.
Yeah. So I mean, just taking that and now bringing it all virtual for the first time, all within 12 months, not even, is a massive undertaking. So if I was wearing a hat, I'd take it off for you.
Yeah.
So I love it. All right.
Thank
So
you.
with that said, John, tell us a little bit about what has you so excited. We're coming now down to the end. I know you're looking forward to that exciting vacation you probably take after IBSX passes, because you guys have been putting so much work in. Tell us what's really got you excited about this, and then I'll pull up some documents here in a moment.
Yeah, no problem. Well, what's really got us excited about it, and it's actually very simple. It's a simple formula of ensuring that we're staying true to what's most valuable to our members in the industry. And those values are, right, product discovery, right? People being able to discover new products when they go to the platform, just like they would the live event. Networking with their peers and other people within the industry, being able to experience special events on the platform. And then finally, education. Education is very valuable to our members in the industry. And so those four elements and that's what excites us too, because everything we've built has been around what's most important to our membership in the industry. And that's where it all starts and ends.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it really is, right? Without the members, we don't go very fast, very far, very fast to begin with. So, Greg, from a high level too, not to have you on the sidelines here, you've had a lot of input within IBSX and everything else as well. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, John's team has been, working with leadership, to address what the members are looking for. You have to remember this. So the Federation is a global look at it. IBS is a significant a part of who we are and what we do. So not only are the budget ramifications enormous, it's also something that each and every member looks forward to. And we have to fill that place in people's hearts, if you will, every year. And this has been a real challenge.
Yeah.
So for them to step up as big as they have and for what's promised, it's just going to be outstanding.
Yeah.
And Dave, what we've been able to do, hopefully, is build into that excitement like we normally do on the live show as best we can for the virtual. So the virtual event is February 9th through 12th. And you'll be able to experience a whole bunch of things on that platform. Basically, everything that we present the 9th through the 12th will be available on the platform all the way up to March 31st. The only thing you lose is that personal interaction that you're going to be able to have with exhibitors and with attendees and member to member through our networking events. But that's the only thing you really lose. So it's really important to be there the first week, participate in as much as you can, right? But just remember in the back of your mind that everything's gonna be on that platform. So we're going to record everything. Everything will be up there. So if you've missed something, you can always get back to it.
Yeah.
Right, and find it and what have you, and meeting the vendors like that's part of this. That you're still going to be able to set time with the vendors to have conversations. Correct?
Yeah. And you can preset appointments beforehand. You can do it all as you prep for the show, and that's really important. So if whenever you're ready, you can show that. I'm
pulling it up right now.
I gave you about the website, but I'll just kind of talk through it. So what's really important here is that the attendees, once the IBSX virtual platform becomes live, this is what we call the pre-planning site, right? So if you haven't registered, up in that right-hand corner there, you can register, and you can upgrade your pass. So if you just got an Expo pass where you're visiting with exhibitors and watching demos and things, you can upgrade to get the All Access pass, which gets you access to all the education that's on the platform. But here is like where your journey starts. When you start to look at the platform, you log on, you set up a profile, you can start setting up meetings with exhibitors, so you can get a jump start on your week and really start organizing it. And we feel this is really important so that everybody doesn't jump on the platform on February 9th and like, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? We're just trying to prepare everybody, give them a taste of what the platform is all about. But again, let them prepare, let them get excited, let them like really schedule their week, right? So they can, schedule everything that's going on in their life, as well as the amount of time they're going to be spending on the platform.
Got it. So all right, so here we are in the beginning of the platform. Let's scroll down. Walk me through what we're looking at here. So we have the Windows Pavilion, Windows of a Lifetime, designed to last lifetime. So we have some exhibitors that are happening there. So go ahead.
So this is our way of making everything as simple, right? Because it's all about simplicity. But again, focusing on what's really important, right, for our attendees. So it's all about, if you're on for new product discovery with exhibitors, okay, you've got one tab that brings you there. If your principal reason for being on the site are, I want to participate in the education and the demos and special events, I can do that. If I just want to go into the networking, which we're calling shop talks, which I'm really excited about that. That's an element that we're bringing to the platform where member to member and attendee to attendee, they can talk about those critical topics that are really important to them right now. So like, for example, workforce development. If during the pandemic, it's been hard to find employees and people to help you build, you can talk to other members about what those challenges are, and and they can discover together those solutions that they put together, and really kind of learn from each other and walk away with some really sound things that they can take home. Going down further on that page, right? They'll be able to again, network and let me see, I'm just looking at
well, you're looking at that. I love this, right? Imagine having the Builder Show at your disposal, literally on demand, on your laptop, at home, or even in your pocket on your smartphone while you're on the go at work or wherever. And this is where the power of this virtual comes in, which you don't have if you're attending live.
Right. So on the bottom part of this page, what they'll be able to do is network attendee to attendee and attendee to exhibitor. Okay. It's all about, making that connection with the people that you want to meet on site prior to getting to the show. And one of the greatest things we're excited about, as you can see the picture of Mike Rowe there, he's going to be our opening keynote. He has a lot of passion for, this industry and the people who work in it. And, he's going to be our keynote speaker. He kicks off the event Tuesday morning, February 9th, and we're really excited about that. And we have a number of really, engaging speakers during the week. The one that I'm actually really excited about We call it, it's part of our game changer keynote session, is Cheryl Connolly. She's the manager of global trends and future Ford Motor Company. And what I'm really excited about it's what does the future bring for us in this post-pandemic environment, right? And what I like about it too is just, she's from Ford, right? A lot of our members drive Fords, but it's a different perspective from someone outside the building industry. So you've got someone like Mike Rowe, who's very familiar with our industry, but you're hearing from people from outside our industry as well. And so we're trying to, really kind of provide that balance, that knowledge-based balance with the speakers we have on the platform.
Yeah, for sure. We've kind of been seeing that even on the show. I think there's going to be a lot of outside industry people really coming into our industry right now. There's so much potential for growth. There's so much potential to do the right thing for affordable housing. We need everybody and anything we can get, and we're seeing it every single day. It's going to be a lot of the outside people coming in with new ideas, fresh ideas that I think is really going to help take this to the next level. And when you go virtual, that opens the audience to a whole bunch of young people that just love this stuff.
And you know what? What they're really going to love too and this is, if you just get an Expo Pass to get on the platform, that means you didn't sign up for the education. You'll have access to demos and all the cutting edge products that are introduced within the industry. What I love about the demos in the virtual world is that a lot of these demos we'll do live at the IBS show, typically like right on the show floor. These demos we're doing are all like on job sites. So that's like the added value there, is that you're going to be seeing the demos and the installations at an actual job site, which is really kind of cool, right? So that's the home performance building zone, and then the home tech zone, which is all the new kind of high technology and gadgets out there that our builders and our members are installing in homes.
That's going to be awesome. Hey, listen, that's kind of like our road show. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be on the road, going to job sites, showing you how it's done. So I think it's great that you guys are taking that approach and making it interactive like that. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. John, I can't tell you how much we're looking forward to this. The actual platform for the audience out there, from what we just saw on the web, we did the PDF webpage there and how it looks. But on the day of the event, you said that's going to transform, right? That's not what you're going to be in. It transforms into a whole virtual experience.
Exactly. Thanks for bringing that up, right? Again, it's all about, so when someone comes into the platform on February 9th, right? What we want to do is make it easy for them to discover what's most important to them, right? That's what I kind of started off with, right? So new product discovery, if you want to take a look at, all the exhibits on the show floor. What I'm really excited about too, and I should mention this, is that we have over 300 companies right now that are part of the platform. Really excited about that. That's together with KBIS. And as a reminder, right, when someone registers for IBSX, they'll have access to the kitchen and bath industry show exhibitors as well as the IBS exhibitors, right? So there'll be over 300 companies and brands for which to kind of source, products and services when you're on the platform. All those companies will really, and we're kind of, training them and teaching them that what you really want to do is focus on those new products and services you want to get in front of our members and our audience. That's what you really want to focus on. So any kind of demo they do within their booth, you'll be able to talk one-on-one with their representatives live during the hours of the show, which is 10 to 6 every day, Tuesday through Thursday, and then 10 to 4:30 on Friday. Those are like the live hours in which you'll be able to engage with people, attendee to attendee, and then attendee to exhibitor during that time.
Right. I love it. I love it. Well, let's hop into some other knowledge here while we're at it, right? So let's talk about this IBSX panelization and BSC shop talk. We have been talking about this, right? But explain what the panelization portion of this is.
So what we've done is we've actually taken through our education piece and broken it out, just like we always do when you can picture those conference rooms filled, right, with people all along the walls and people sitting there, thousands of people taking advantage of this. Well, we anticipate that many more will also during the longevity of the availability. Remember, when you join, you're going to be able to participate through March, all the way through March 31st. And you're going, panelization panel, sort of, you're going to have people talking about all the benefits, talking about what it takes to get involved, questions and answer period. And that's not the only topic. I just pulled out a couple of them to use as examples. And I think that what we're seeing is that by all the questionnaires that have gone out and how we take the pulse of the membership, John's got it all teed up so that we're ready to go. John, if you had to, as we're talking with Dave today, if you had to tell people, look, if you could take anything from me today, here's what your next stops have to be. Here's your next steps. 1, 2, 3, 1. What should people be doing?
The next steps, number one is start to begin to pre-plan your week on buildershow.com. So on our traditional website, we're putting up, we've got the schedule up there now, and we're adding to it every day. So start taking a look about how you want to engage. But really what you want to do is participate in all aspects of it on day one, right? You definitely want to go to the keynote. It's really exciting. It's high tech. We've actually got some augmented reality going on too, which if you've never experienced it, it's going to be a trip. You're really going to like that. And really, just getting back to it, you're going to want to dabble in the shop talks. You're going to want to visit with the exhibitors, in between. You're going to want to network with them. You're going to want to, ask them any questions. The booths on virtually are going to be manned. I would highly recommend that you do sign up for the conference. Again, there's no worries, because even if you don't get to every session, like Greg said, you have till March 31st to get to it all at your leisure. So it'll all be up on the platform. But right. I would experiment. That's what I would do. I would sign up for the All Access Pass, which, by the way, the early bird date ends today. So if you haven't signed up, you want to sign up today, you can save yourself some money. But just experiment within the platform.
Good.
I love it. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to keep you around just for this last bit here, John. And then, John, if we'll get to some comments here and say hi to some people that have joined us. But first, let's just talk, when all this kicks off, what are you going to be doing? We're just curious. Does the hair loss stop at that point?
Yeah, exactly, right. I can't get any more grayer, Dave. So I don't know what's next. I guess the hair, you can start to lose it.
Right. I love it.
So no, it's you know what? It's really, but the one thing we're working on right now, quite frankly, is what we're learning from other organizers, because there's a whole bunch of other trade shows and events that had to cancel their events and they've been on platforms. Is really the customer service side of it. So right now we're putting a team in place that is here to answer any questions that people may have. So I think during the event, there's going to be, like people are going to be like, hey, I registered, and now how do I get from A to B, right? How do I get on this platform, or how do I sign up for this session and everything? And we just want to make sure that someone is there for them if they have any questions. But really, it's going to be behind the scenes. I'll give you like one quick example. If one of our shop talks, one of our networking sessions is really popular, we have a plan in place to actually have another one, right? So if we've got, over like 50 people within a shop talk, we're going to say, like, we know what people really love that. Let's do that again later on during the week. So we'll schedule another one. So there's going to be a lot of that kind of, because again, we're all learning, right? There's a little bit of that going back and forth, but really we're just excited to see, see and hear and have people tell us what how they're most engaged with the platform.
Yeah, I think that's, that alone is a huge benefit, because you usually go to IBS, and somebody would run into me and say, hey, Dave, I missed your talk, right? Or this or that, or I missed this panel. Well, you know what? If it's popular enough, that means that they really didn't miss it. They can watch it. And I'm sure there's going to be some pre-recordings after all this is over that people can get back to it if something comes up and they can't make it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
you know, it does pay to be part of the original airing of it, because a lot of the sessions are what we call semi-live, right? So it might be recorded, but that professor, that teacher, that instructor is gonna come back and interact online, you know, and chat with the people who took that session. So in a lot of cases, there'll be that personal interaction.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
John, listen, let's say hello to the audience real quick, and then we're gonna kick off into our next section here. So right off the bat, we got George Ryman. Good morning from Phoenix, Arizona. What is happening, George? And you know what? It wouldn't be a show if Mark Bare Naked Willie did not show up to say hello. Hello, Greg Ugalde. This is great to see the virtual conference. I believe it offers many benefits. The time savings and no need to travel are huge benefits to both exhibitors and those attending, especially for people like Mark who are not keen on flying in airplanes. So
Right.
I love it. Thanks. He's got the thumbs up. Etienne, what is happening, Etienne? Etienne is the CEO of Sega North America. Etienne, great to see you. Good to have you on. Love it. Virtually only. We got Andrew Sealy, massive social innovation task you are all working on. How awesome is that? Andrew, G-Pods, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate that. And let's see, who do we have here? SN Yazdi, I think is how you say that. Good morning, all. Thank you for joining us. You know, what's so much fun about this platform is you never know day to day who's joining you and who's watching. So we want to say thank you to everybody out there. We will have some more Q&As as we go through this. So if something comes up, John, if you want to stick around, great. You know, if not, I'm sure you can come back in and answer any questions in the comments.
Absolutely. I'll stick around and I'll be here in case anything comes up.
I love it. Well, there you have it, everybody. John McGarry, Senior Vice President of Business Development and Brand Strategy at the National Association of Home Builders, which is no small task. Thank you, buddy. We look forward to seeing you next time on the show.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome. Hang tight if you want to come back in. We'll see you in a bit. All right, Greg, time to get into some shop talk on the industry and where we're headed and what we're doing. So I think first, let's start it off by a big shout out to one of our Building Systems Council member who you felt is going above and beyond. And I think it's very worthwhile to put this up here.
Yes. Yes. You know, in a huge shout out, you know, what we try to do too is a lot of our building systems council members like Integra is just so valuable when they are able to, and what we find is that sharing their ideas and innovation with other members to be attracting people to gain from their knowledge, their experience. It's something that our industry is so unique in. We are one of the only ones that openly shares with each other. And this is a great example. And we just want to give a shout out in our comments. And, you know, we'll do that from time to time as we go, because I'm realizing that we have such valuable members and we really need to help promote their systems, building systems, as well as them promoting the federation. So, you know, one hand washes the other, and that's how we're going to go forward. But tremendous. We were actually wondering if we would be able to just do a live hello today, but that's it's all still good, you know.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up because we're on a lot of your shows, Dave, in conjunction with each other, so we'll be able to catch up that way.
Well, listen, I send it out to Jerry, and Jerry's one of these guys. You know, he may just pop out of the blue into the feed.
That's right.
And if he does, I'll bring him in. It'd be good to see Jerry for sure. All right,
That's right.
We have some breaking news. How do you like those banners, huh? Tickers and banners.
Look at that.
Straight off the press. I don't know how many other people out there know this or have heard of this. Greg, give us the update on what's happening with this. $7.2 million from JP Morgan Chase, creating 150 new modular built homes. What in the world is that about? Because I don't even know.
So one of the things, especially during this pandemic, that we're realizing throughout society, in this particular case that we're making this announcement on, and there'll be much more to follow as it unfolds, but JP Morgan Chase has seen the need on the south side and west side too of Chicago, a real need to help some of the communities some of the minority communities in particular. And they are throwing this fantastic grant toward modular homes to help these people be able to experience the American dream. It's something that every family that's affected would not have been able to take advantage of otherwise. And there'll be much more to follow on this. And we hope that, I've heard some things in Detroit and just other places around the country as well. But this is fantastic news, and thank you very much. We're seeing a lot of organizations getting involved in steps like this because the gap between the haves and the have-nots is really expanding. And one of our focuses has to be on helping our the needy families out across our great country.
Yeah, well, 100%. And the fact that JP Morgan could have spent that money with whomever they wanted, and they chose, building systems to do it. That's a big, big deal.
It's true.
They're not chump change. They're not the smallest consulting and financial firm out there, are they?
That's right. That's right.
That is the breaking news. So I'm so happy you told us that. I didn't even know that. Maybe I need to spend more time reading the paper or what have you. But thank you to JP Morgan. Hopefully we can get them on the show. I'm going to see if I can get a hold of one of them and ask them about their thoughts on this. I think it would be great. All right.
That'd be super.
We got a lot to cover, Mr. Ugalde. So let's keep rocking and rolling out there.
You got it.
All right, building guy, University of Denver, HBI, and BCC. What do we got going on here? Because you know what? I love the University of Denver and Eric Holt. So tell us what's happening.
So remember, we had Eric on not that long ago, right? You did a great job. And the two of you really were talking about a lot of different things that are being worked on. But this particular project, the building guide, so HBI is the entity that develops the curriculum for students. And actually, the housing endowment, too, our national housing endowment. So it's a little tough to say when you NHE, I'm sorry, National Housing Endowment. And that is the funding behind a lot of these things.
Right.
And when you put it all together, they're going to be able to deliver a product that's going to be able to help people around the country take advantage. And Dave, you've mentioned it before as well. Dave Cooper Live has been a great source for this type of thing, because one of the things that's happening is visually, you're able to take so many walks of life and so many new technologies and ways of doing things and pulling it together. That's what a building guide like this tries to do too, provide information to make it easier for the next people involved. And Eric's doing a great job teaming up with our entities at National Association of Home Builders, as well as our Building Systems Council and everybody. So we're looking very forward to that.
Yeah, I will say, just a shout out to the University in Denver, not just Eric Holtz, but all the students that are working on all this research. Eric has a team of students that has been studying building systems, and what have you for many years now. And I think they're doing an outstanding job, and I've been fortunate enough to interview some of them. So big shout out to those guys. All right, moving on here. Now we are into the Virginia Center of Housing and Research, Virginia Tech. More universities.
And again, Dave, this is just following that. What they're doing now is they're actually putting together in this, because it ties in with what our friend Michael's doing and everything with concrete and modular construction. So they are partnering, and they've done 2 field studies for those areas. And why is that a big deal? As you keep saying, the more people that are aware of this, how many people before you started having Michael Weber, and Mike gets on and talks about concrete building, people, well, we're not talking about a sidewalk, right? No, you're talking about building structures with the technologies that they have. And fascinating. And the more people it becomes, once you've heard about it and realize it can exist, more people take advantage of it.
Yeah, very much so. And it's funny you mentioned Michael Weber. I just spoke to him a couple days ago, which was great. So definitely a world of knowledge. So outstanding. So there you go. I mean, the fact that the universities are taking a look at all these things and they're really being involved in our industry is terrific news. And we gotta keep with it and thank them as much as we can. All right. Hot topic. Lumber prices and housing affordability. Why are the lumber prices going back up, Greg? What is the problem here? Tell us.
You know, it's so unfortunate, right? Because we had such, remember that whole beginning. We're talking about a calendar that you can look at. It starts back in March and April, and you see 170% increase. We wrestle it to the ground. We start coming down. But what we found was the fact that, and you remember, we talked about this on one of your shows. Everybody froze and said, look, we cannot be signing contracts if we have no idea whether we could control this or not. We were having lumber yards in telling us that they have no way to be able to lock us into prices. Basically, if you're lucky enough to get it, you'll pay for the catch of the day, right? You feel like you're eating a nice piece of fish in a restaurant or something. It was crazy. Well, everybody froze. We saw the prices start coming down. As soon as people started, out of necessity, feeling comfortable enough so that they could engage again, we saw them coming right back up the other side. So now we have to re-engage everybody else. Everybody again. We have to talk to the Department of Commerce. We have to talk to HUD. We have to talk to all the administrative contacts that we have, the contacts in the administration itself. And it's tireless work, but we do it every day. And we actually have a special site now at nahb.org where we are showing all the efforts that are made on a daily basis, all the conversations, because there's a lot of prongs here. We're finding that it wasn't as simple as just focusing on the Canadian treaties. It wasn't as simple as, because as you know, we've companies on both sides of the border. It wasn't as simple as saying, okay, let's use our forests, let's open those up a little bit. What has to happen is a thoughtful process that can guarantee the lumber yards that as they gear up and they produce the lumber and deliver the lumber that we need, they're not going to get caught holding the bag either. But let me tell you, if we don't get lumber under control and allow us to build houses and deliver them without losing our shirts for one line item, materials across the board are getting tricky. But especially with lumber, we're going to have it stall out again. And housing is so important to this economy. It's one of the only sectors where we were employing more people than we were laying off, a lot more people. We will continue to do so. And it's the strongest part of our economy as we move forward.
So what is driving the lumber prices through the roof, Greg? Can you just give us the simple overview? What is causing that for our audience out there that really doesn't understand it?
Supply, right? So start with that. Picture your economics 101 supply chart, right? You have supply and demand. If supply goes down, your price goes up. That's what's happening. So they are we had talked about were there forces that shouldn't have been there, collusionary forces, for example. It doesn't appear that there's just simply people holding back. It appears that there are some pandemic concerns on the supply chain where it comes from producing and cutting the lumber, getting availability, and taking it all the way through delivery and bringing it right to the job sites. It has been really hampered through this pandemic, and that's really where we have to start easing those pressures. We have to allow the production and the delivery of lumber to be able to be eased enough to drive up the supply, bring bring the prices down. That's it in a nutshell. But let me tell you, no more complicated commodity issue than we've seen than lumber. And it is costing our members a ton.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And there's just so much happening out there, and it's costing more and more for the consumer and everybody else. I remember in our last show, I mean, it was $1,000 increase cost the consumer. I think you said 17,000 by the time it trans out. Wasn't that there was a number? I have to go back and look.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You mean about the people that get eliminated from buying a home?
Right,
yeah, exactly. Right. And we're talking about increases again now. We're at over 1,000 per board foot. I mean, it's just craziness. 900 was a lot, but just the comments that I had updated for today, I believe. It said, it's back over. So, the price per 1,000 board feet is back up over 1,000 at times. And hopefully this long weekend will drive it back. But even 900, any of those numbers are too ridiculous, Dave. We cannot afford to. What's going to happen too, and this is going to force the negotiations to be even tougher, is that builders are a creative bunch, especially building systems, right? Where they need to order by the carload. They need train cars to fill the factories and use the lumber. They're going to find substitutes for different things, for everything. And that's going to be tough, because if they find and we find appropriate other avenues, who knows what that means to the industry. So when you play with fire, you better be careful, because there's a lot of people being hurt right now.
Yeah, there truly is, especially in a time when they don't need to be hurt, right? There's enough going on in the world. So it's a bummer that we're where we are. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling on this. NAHB times SGC Horizon.
So what this is about is, and you know what? The last slide you had up, just let me finish that quick. I glanced over. We also had on there the labor concern, the labor piece of that, and then what it means for land or lot shortage. Whenever we talk about affordability, remember I talk about the L's being the driving force behind what makes houses so expensive. At the end of the day, it's all about the customer. Whether it's renovations, whether it's new homes, a move up, first time. If we look and we don't get the jobs in place, and we don't get our labor trained and on the job sites, and especially if we don't get enough land through the pipeline to create building lots and units, we're going to face more increased pricing. So all of those things have to come together. One of the ways that we promote it, the slide that you just showed, it's very interesting. After many years of having Builder Magazine, is the flagship magazine for our industry, we're changing to Professional Builder. Through the current negotiations, we had some things that we needed to work through, and we've done it, and everybody's happy. I will say that we have now reached a point where we feel very comfortable with both of those companies and all their affiliates, so that we're going to be able to use them in education and actually the communicating a lot of the needs that our industry has, as well as legislative pieces. So you'll see a shift where Professional Builder now will be the builder of the National Association of Home Builders. But we're going to be doing many things with both of those global huge companies.
Yeah, right. Well, and from a media perspective, right? Professional Builder Magazine, you can pretty much buy it anywhere. I love it. Good. So does that mean Builder Magazine's just going away then, the one that the NAHB put up?
No, I think that right now, I think their plan is to still they're still going to keep it active, and they're still going to focus on information that's industry relevant. They're not going to go through and be the voice that we require. They'd handle all our codes issues and have our pricing and our marketing and that kind of thing. They'll take it their own way. But as I said, it's amazing some of the things that we are going to circle back and focus with them on as well. But we're looking so forward to this new, after many years, this new relationship that we were able to negotiate.
I love it. Hey, let's say hi to somebody here real quick. I see it popping in. I want to say hi. Good old Henry Mickelberg, all the way across the pond over there. Virtual like a good way to avoid spending the usual 2 hours explaining to MCO immigration why I am not traveling on a U.S. passport. I love it. IBSX. That one was pointed towards John over there. So John's still hanging out with us. We'll bring him back in. He can address concerns and say thank you. Yeah, for sure. For sure. There's a ton of banner going back in there. But Henry had another comment. A few more months and a half of the country will be homeless, serious times. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why you're seeing, Henry, today, a lot of what we're talking about is focusing on that, the need for us to double down and produce homes that people can afford, and not just the award-winning bells and whistles. We need to be able to put hardworking families with a roof over their heads.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Henry, appreciate you always chiming in. Thank you so much. All right, now let's move on. NAHB, SGC, Horizon.
That's actually the company that I just talked about.
Pro Builder Magazine, then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That fell off. There we go.
So job safety, stand down.
This is very interesting. So one of the reasons why we're even mentioning this again. So last week we did a week of job safety stand downs again. We repeated this that we did early on in the pandemic, and why. We need to show local and state governments that we are being safe on our job sites, that we're using masks, spacing, we're cleaning our hands, tools, we're making it safe for the public, and we are an essential industry. Remember how important that was for all those that we were able to convince around the country that we're essential. There's a lot of benefits to doing that, well, as the numbers are skyrocketing for COVID-19 and the pandemic is just not under control. We're seeing it. We're not able to travel yet. Sure, we hear good things about the vaccine in ways that we're going to fight.
Yeah.
But the key is we need to be able to be in a position that everybody knows we're essential, we appreciate it, and we're going to continue to be. So we shut down everybody's business for 10 minutes, people's choosing. We didn't do it at the one time frame that we did the first time on the one day. We did it over a week to make it easy and to get the most people. We have some pictures of my company and employees doing it and people across the country. We need to have this showing that we're listening at all the safety concerns, and it was very well appreciated by those that needed to see us do that and double down on our safety.
Sure. Are you guys seeing, and maybe you heard of something at the top there, any technology coming out to help with this safety, checking for the virus, job sites, things where you can track in real time what's happening?
Yeah, it's funny because you tie in the OSHA reporting, and you know how they usually drag things, make them a little more complicated, if you will. But what's happening is that through taking temperatures and some of these new ways to, I guess you'd call them measurement tools, way to test the air and people coming on to, especially where we find it the most important is in sales, open houses. Like if we have our team working on a home and we can open the windows, even if it's cold and so on, where you have to control the environment more is like our model homes or sales centers and things like that. Remodeling has been a real test right? What families want people coming in, when do you have to test? So I would say the rapid testing is a biggie. The ability to prove that you're safe. That's really the key where our industry has to get. And we benefited from having a lot of what we do being able to be considered outside and with windows open and things like that. So we hope to build on that with quick recognition and those kinds of tools that will allow us to detect and prove that we're a safe site.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, we're getting ready to hit the road, Greg. So going to these job sites and traveling,
Yes,
we have to be even more the extra careful than anybody out there. So I have a feeling I'm going to have a whole lot of things up my nose, and I'm not talking party animal stuff either. I'm talking, testing. It's just
that's right.
we're willing to do to bring this information to everybody, but we're taking it very seriously. That's why I was asking. Didn't know maybe somebody had some digital tests that I could use so I don't have to cry every time they stick that, but
well, and the other thing is too, so you need to close the gap between why they don't allow the speed testing as much as they do some of the others. You need to be able to take speed tests to be able to go from one area to another and say, hey, I could come into your factory. I could come into your school. I will tell you this, and my our kids play hockey. And so one of mine now is coaching at the college level, and her kids, they get tested a couple times a week, and she gets tested every week. And that seems to work out great because you're dealing with large populations. And I'm thinking you're going to have to fit in. You mentioned too that they're going to start opening rinks up again with the same theory. Hopefully we'll see something quicker sooner than later on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, tomorrow. That's right, man. I still got to get my daughters over there to see your daughter coaching college level hockey. How cool!
Hey, if you play your cards right, we'll make sure they're recruited.
That means I won't have to do this anymore, right? They make it to the USA Women's Olympic team, all that good stuff.
There you go.
I love it. All right, listen, Greg, we are at 56 minutes almost already. So let's speed round through what we have going on here. We got a lot to cover. We were talking about PPP for home builders associations.
That's a biggie. We jumped in on this last round and made sure that besides a lot of our members that can expand on it or take advantage of the program, we also have it set up so that our C6s can also, as the local associations and state associations, get some help with the PPP loans.
Love it. That's awesome. All right, pro housing candidates elected. So this is big news. I mean, if you're following politics, it's always a little bit, an iffy conversation. But what do we have going on? Pro housing candidates being elected.
That'll fit right into this one. David, you can throw the banners up as I go. So everybody knows that the elections came out. It's a blue controlled Congress now, and we choose our candidates that we support very carefully with our build pack funds and individual builder funds around the country. And we had well over an 80% success rate in pro housing people that see it our way. If you look, we have definitely had to look at what it means to have a blue controlled House, a blue controlled Senate. Now everybody knows that story. It's even 50-50 vice presidential. She's going to have the deciding vote on tie votes, but also they have the leadership influence. They get to set the agendas. Right here we have the Rhode Island governor, who's a good friend of our industry. Gene and I met a couple times in our REBA, our business the Home Builders Association of Rhode Island, very close with her because we work hand in hand with her ability to train and to get meaningful training and supply our industry, one of her top ones with new recruits, if you will. And we've supported her, backed her. She's been nominated to be the Secretary of Commerce, which will be a huge help for us. And also somebody that understands this lumber issue. She's a real winner for us right now. So
that's awesome. The news is always doom and gloom and these things and that, but as an industry, we still have a lot of really good things in place, and I think that's what's super important. And having people like the Rhode Island governor, take that role is a big deal. Big deal.
That's right.
All right. I do know you wanted to do this, and then we're going to bring John still with us. We'll bring him back in, but we have this last banner, official condemnation of actions with the Capitol. So I know that was one thing you wanted to really make sure we put out there.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think all trade associations and all big groups have been asked to make sure that you take your position and make it known. We did condemn all the attacks on the Capitol and all those actions. We had no choice. The silver lining that we did applaud and we saw was that our congressmen and women, as well as our senators, they got to work. They did the work of the people, even in the middle of the night, and they put forth the electoral votes in the nomination for a Biden administration. And whether you backed the new president or not, it was the right thing to do. And it was just horrible, the things that are coming out. And we did it right after the day after all of this happened. We were one of the first organizations to recognize it for how awful it really was. And we made that clear. And our members very much appreciated the ability to still believe in what we believe, but that wasn't it. And we made that known. And we hope to work with the new administration and all our friends that we've had all along up on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, perfect. I agree. All right, let's bring John back in. Why don't we, to wrap this hour up? And we got a few more hellos to add out there real quick. So
let's do it.
Hey, look who's back. Good old
Hey.
John. I'm gonna move you right to the middle, John. You just have that. You have that presence. You balance Greg and I out. That's what it feels.
There you go. It works.
You're balancing us out. So let's see.
Justice.
Let's see who else is out there to say, hey, look at that. He was agreeing with Henry Mickelberg. Joel Hutchins, what is happening, Joel? It's been a while. I hope you are well. Ravaya, gotta love what Joel's doing. Parametric design. That guy's gonna change the world in parametric design. I love it.
Sure is.
Judy Donnell's in the house, fellas. Hello, Dave, Jennifer, and Greg. She did not know you were on, John. So I'm sure we'll say hello to John.
Right.
Hey, listen, the chair of the associate members at the NAHB, this is just another person that puts in all the time and effort. And know what I love about Judy is just her female leadership and the fact that she's with 84 Lumber. And for those of you who don't know, that is a female run and operated organization. And I think it's pretty cool, especially in our industry. Love it.
That's right.
All right, everybody. So there you have it. Listen, guys, you guys have both been awesome to have on the show today. We've had a lot of updates. The views were going up and down and in and out, and that's exactly what we want when we have over an hour-long show. Thank you to everybody who's joined us, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. Love it, love it, love it, and LinkedIn always. So, guys, what parting words do we have? We're 2 weeks out from IBSX. Both of you are working tirelessly. I mean, what more is there to say other than come join us, right?
It's going to be a great, exciting virtual event. Sign up. That's all I have to say. And take advantage of the early bird rate, which ends today.
Yeah.
And we have, our full complement of leadership meetings through a whole week. It's just like if we were under one roof with 40 football fields of exhibits and our 100,000 plus people and the whole thing. But we still have all our leadership going along too. And as John just said, IBSX, it's going to be historic.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever done it before.
It has not been done before, so we're looking forward to it. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my sponsors once again. Joe Butler and Ben Hershey, Forward Solutions Group. You guys have been awesome. They're wonderful consultants in the offsite construction industry. And I want to thank Kamalucci Signs. I don't know if you guys noticed. How would you like one of those pretzels in the background? Doesn't it look good?
There you go.
Lunchtime.
Oh, yeah.
Lunchtime. So, hey, if you're in Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, Florida, you definitely want to swing by this place. They actually have a table out in the lobby, guys. You ever see the Christmas Story when he opens up? Yep. There's a whole table built like that out there. So
how great is that?
What's that?
How great is that? Good for you.
It is great. They do some wonderful stuff down here. Hello, John. Great to see you. I told you Judy wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah. Thanks, Judy.
Yeah. So, well, listen, Judy, Joel, Henry. Let me just go through the list. Mark, thank you for joining us. Jennifer's in the background. Asan, I think is how I say it. Yazdi, Andrew. Etienne, George, all of you, thank you so much for all that you do and for supporting us every day. Remember, we are going to be hitting the road live on our road show coming to somewhere near you. But guess what? You're going to see it at IBSX first because they are going to be on job sites streaming to you how they are doing things. Same as we're going to be doing in the field. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe I can learn something before we get out there.
New American Home, New American Remodel. See them all.
Absolutely. It's all happening. It's just virtual now. All right, everybody, thanks everybody so much for everything that you do. You guys, John, Greg, stick tight right where you're at, and we'll come back to you at the end. I'm Dave Cooper. We'll see you tomorrow on Building Modular with Jennifer, 1 p.m. Eastern. Take care. Bye now.